So, imagination. Imagination, for those who are Unity people or familiar with Unity, imagination is one of the 12 powers that Unity talks about. But today, I am going to be talking about celebrating. And this morning, after doing my morning meditation and doing some white light frequency therapy, I listened to some positive intelligence, which I do pretty much every single morning. And today's little nugget, the 3-minute thing that I listened to this morning, was about how important celebrating is and how important it is to acknowledge where we have been. And so it was all about noticing when there is some kind of resistance coming up, and positive intelligence, we'll call that resistance the judge. Noticing when the judge is starting to rear its ugly head and going, this isn't worth celebrating, you haven't done enough, you haven't come far enough, and just going, okay, that's what's happening, I'm going to celebrate anyway. You know, whether it's in a small way, whether it's in a big way, it doesn't really matter, but to acknowledge that I was here at one point, but now I'm here, and that is worth celebrating in whatever way feels good, right? And so today happened to also be a pretty big celebration because our Noticing Ninjas group that I have talked about before, that has this 5-minute daily challenge going on that we're calling the No Challenge, the Noticing Ninjas Office Whip Up Challenge. Today was day 29. And it was incredible to take a few moments to look at where we are now compared to where we were 29 days ago. And for me, it wasn't as big a deal because I only had about 8 piles of paper on my floor that I wanted to clean up and get off my floor. And I did that within a few days. But the other friend who was in the group, her entire office was a disaster area. Like, I still remember that waterfall of papers and files that was in the corner. You could not see the floor of her office or the carpet or anything that was underneath there because it was covered in boxes and files and paper and had been like this for 4 years. And so every time she went in there, which was several times a day, she would feel viscerally and physically ill. She was so stressed out, and she thought, I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to get through this. And so 29 days ago, well, actually 30 days ago, when we were on our weekly Noticing Ninjas call, I just said, okay, you know what? I have these piles of paper. Tomorrow, I'm going to call you at 7 o'clock. We're setting a 5-minute timer together. We're going to work on stuff for 5 minutes, and we're going to do that every day until stuff gets done. And so we've been doing that. We've been learning a bunch of stuff along the way, lots of insights, very shortly about how it's not about the office paper and files and whatever, all the things that we're noticing about ourselves, the resistance, the feelings, the emotions that are coming up. But today was so phenomenal because she got to say goodbye to 15 bankers' boxes of files that were neatly labeled and organized and filed chronologically or alphabetically, however they had to be, and they left her space. And so not only has she been devoting 5 minutes a day, or maybe a little bit more sometimes, to this Noticing Ninjas Office Whip Up, which is KNOW, that's the acronym, KNOW, but now she's liberated herself in so many ways. And so today we got to celebrate. And so just pause to go like, okay, look at where you were 29 days ago. And you had it in you the entire time to do this, to clean things up, to let go of stuff that no longer served, to liberate yourself of whatever it was that was weighing you down. It was phenomenal to celebrate this milestone. And so there's going to be a break for a little while because there's a personal thing that's going on in her family, so she's not able to do the 5-minute daily challenge for about a week or so. But we're going to come back to it, and we're going to keep going, and we're going to see how this continues to unfold because she now feels so empowered because of this tiny little 5-minute ritual that we do every single morning. And she is blown away at the impact that 5-minute consistent commitment has had in her life, not just in her office, but in her mind and in her heart and in the way that she relates not only to herself, to her physical space, but to everything around her now. So when I think back to when I was thinking about what to do for a midweek pick-me-up, I really wanted to do something that wasn't on a Sunday, because I figured you could sort of toss a dime in any direction and there's a spiritual center or a church that you can go to on a Sunday morning. I want to do something on an evening for those people who either don't want to or can't come on a Sunday, so that there's some way that we can come together and we can just lean in to whatever it is that is meaningful for us in terms of feeling uplifted, feeling empowered, feeling maybe a little bit more enlightened, in tune, aligned, connected. And for me, it was always about having music, live quality music. And so we started off with some amazing people, and then things kind of got a little bit rocky, and I got a little impatient, thinking, when is this going to come together? But the whole time, there were conversations going on with Kelby MacNayr over there, and eventually, in February, the Elevate Trio came to be, and they've been with us ever since. And so the gift that we receive every single week when we are here to hear the music that you guys offer us, the connection that is built every single week when we get together through conscious conversation, the community that is building and evolving, for me, this is a dream come true. But it wouldn't be anything without you guys. So I just want all of us to take a moment to acknowledge where we are today, how Elevate is a vital part of the Victoria Truth Center growing, unfolding, evolving community, and how each and every person here, whether it is your first time here, whether it's your first time on a Wednesday, or whether you've been coming since the very beginning, I am so grateful for each and every one of you, because this is what community is all about. And so I thought I want to do a reading of some kind. Who is it that is going to fit in with what's going on today? And one of my go-tos is Richard Wagamese. And so I found a page in here that just felt like it was perfect. So Richard Wagamese writes, "I want to be unruly, live without rules. Not all of them, just the ones that restrain my curiosity, emotionality, spirituality, actuality, and ability to be my authentic self. The ones that say, don't think, don't talk, don't feel, the ones that reduce me, the ones that tell me what a man should be, the ones that keep me chained to false narratives. I want to be unruly, to live beyond the no," he's got that in capital, N-O, "and reside instead where everyone says, F yeah, to life and living." And so I thought, wow, what a great name for a talk. Being unruly and living beyond the no. Now, when I saw no, it actually took me to this saying that our friend Jonathan Zenz, Reverend Dr. Jonathan Zenz, introduced us to a few years ago, which was that no doesn't necessarily have to mean like, no, it's not happening. It could also be taken as next opportunity. And so I've remembered that since then, and I thought, if we take a look at that, this I thought was a hilarious picture, because I'm like, how is a duck not going to swim or wade? Like that's just being its authentic self, right? Like that's part of what ducks do. So to have this sign there, which maybe was for people, but that the ducks were just being themselves, was just such a great reminder of, this is what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be our authentic selves and just be who we are, and not go, with all of these rules that come into play sometimes. But anyway, being unruly and living beyond the no, for me, I thought, no doesn't have to be a negative thing. No can mean next opportunity. If something comes up, a challenge, an obstacle, if it looks like we're being cut off in one moment, we can look at that as a negative thing, but we're the ones who are deciding, right? Every single moment. That's all we have. That's what we had in the meditation quote. All we have are moments, and every single moment we are choosing how the next moment unfolds according to how we are responding in the now moment. And so for me, I would much rather take a look at the word no as next opportunity, because that opens the door to those infinite possibilities that are available at any given moment. And so rather than cut off the energetic flow with a hard no, I'm going to think, okay, next opportunity. What else? What else? How else can I show up? How else can I expand my mind, open my heart, activate my soul? What else can I tune into? How else can I relate to someone more authentically? There's always more. Always more. There's always a next opportunity. And there's always more in 2024, which is our theme, right? Oh, yeah. So it is my intention to live life with curiosity, emotionality, spirituality, actuality, and the ability to be my authentic self. Elevate is part of that authenticity. Elevate is part of that spirituality. And I know that that is the same for people who come here. Because what we see in others, we have in ourselves. And what we are tuned into in ourselves, when we look at the world through the eyes of love and friendship and possibility and joy and community and infinite potentiality, we start to see that all around us. We start to find evidence for all of that all around us. We start to see that in everyone and everything around us. And that's what I'm interested in. I want to know who it is that I can become. I want to know what it is this community can become. What does this community want to be? How does it want to evolve and unfold and build itself? And each and every one of us is a part of that, if we allow ourselves to be. So I want to live in a way, I want to live in this unruliness, where I get to embrace my spirituality, my actuality, and the ability to be my authentic self, to lean into the no, the next opportunity, and the next, and the next, and the next. So the rest of the quote on that page by Richard Wagamese is, all we have are moments. So live them as though not one can be wasted. Inhabit them, fill them with the light of your best good intention, honor them with your full presence, and find the joy, calm, and assuredness that allows the hours and the days to take care of themselves. If we can do that, we will have lived. And so in order for us to do that, we need to step into our power. We need to be fully present to life as it's unfolding from one moment to the next and the next and the next. Because even though sometimes it can feel like life is happening around us, life is happening to us, really, we're the ones creating our life experience according to how we use our mind and how we open our heart. So let us be more intentional. Let us be more compassionate with ourselves and those around us. Let us be more joyful. Let us live life lovingly, the motto of VTC. Let us open up to the infinite possibilities of who we can become instead of continuing to go from one moment to the next and the next and the next based on the memories and the stories and the expectations and the roles and the happenings and whatever of the past. Let's open up to the infinite possibilities, the infinite potentiality of the quantum field, and really lean in to the no, to living beyond the no, the next opportunity of how we can show up as our authentic, amazing, powerful selves. So my question to you is, now that we have 1 year of Elevate underneath our belt, what are we going to do in year 2? How are we going to build community together? How are you going to help build community? What's your role in helping VTC become more vibrant, more dynamic, more a place that you want to call home, that you want to bring people to, you want to celebrate and elevate at? Every single one of us is at opportunity to choose, to decide, to create. And so that's my invitation to you. Let's continue to expand our mind, to open our heart, to activate our soul together. Thank you, and so it is.